Kyle here with Vermilion Houseboats, doing our orientation video for our 44-foot Royalist number 11. First thing we always have our guests do is our staff will trim our outboard up so the guests can take a picture of the prop and lower unit of the outboard. That's for our records and for yours. Next thing we go over with the houseboat is the generator. So each houseboat will have a generator. Typically on the number 11 here, we have a Honda 2000 or a Yamaha 2000. Our staff will go over how to start and run the generator. Very simple. We always give you at least one jug of gas during your stay, and if you need more gas, we can give you more gas. Basically with the generator, the cord from the houseboat, so on this, the yellow cord, needs to stay plugged into the generator. So what that cord does is when the generator is running, it supplies power to our inside outlets inside the houseboat. So anytime you're needing to use an outlet inside the houseboat, the generator has to run. Also, while the generator is running, it's charging our deep cycle 12-volt batteries. The 12-volt batteries power your overhead lights, they power the water pressure pump, and they also power the thermostat on the refrigerator. So basically to keep your houseboat running with lights, running water, and a working refrigerator, we always tell our guests to run the generator a minimum of 3 hours a day continuously. You can run it more, but that's the minimum. That'll basically keep your batteries charged up so everything stays functioning during your stay. On the back of the houseboat, we have our propane tanks. We always have these topped off for you. The propane is used for of course, the oven and the stove. The refrigerator condensers run off propane. And our main use of propane is in our colder seasons, shorter seasons, where you might be using the heater. And those are the main uses of the propane. If you are using your heater extensively, you do want to keep a tab on your propane tanks, because we will bring more out during our service run to make sure you have heat throughout your stay, so if need be. So we'll start walking inside the cabin here. So walking in the cabin here, we always show our guests that we have a functioning carbon monoxide alarm and a functioning smoke alarm. So we always show those to the guests, make sure those are working, and we come into the bathroom. We always like to show the guests the toilet. Some of our toilets are a little bit different. On this toilet here, how to operate the toilet is, we always say down for number 1, up for number 2. So taking a number 1, you just simply open the valve, goes away. If you're taking a number 2, if you lift up on the valve, it fills the basin up with water, so it has something to float, and then it'll flush away, so you don't have to deal with it going forward. Next thing we show our guests is our refrigerator. So the main thing with the refrigerator is, as long as the check light is not on, the refrigerator is working the best it can. Especially when it gets really warm out in the summertime, and their guests come in and they jam the refrigerator with a lot of food from their coolers. It may take a while for that refrigerator to catch up and to cool down. There is a thermometer inside the refrigerator, so we need to just keep an eye on that. If you don't think the refrigerator is working well enough, you need to pull some stuff out of the fridge. Put it in coolers, let the fridge catch up. Usually by the morning after the first night, the refrigerator's kind of been acclimated and back to full working. On the refrigerator itself, we have a nice little list here of some kind of policies, procedures with our fleet. So basically, supply run, any mechanical issues, emergencies, different stuff like that is on the fridge. Also have an inventory of what is supplied, basically a lot of the kitchen and dishware that comes with the houseboat. All of our faucets, basically, so kitchen faucet, bathroom faucet, and bathroom shower are lake water. So we're drawing water out of the lake. So don't drink that. We label the faucet, so make sure you don't be drinking it. And then also, we supply gallon jugs of fresh water for cooking and drinking, and we make sure you have plenty for your stay. And can bring more out during the service runs. Basically, stovetop, very simple. Usually in the bottom drawer, there's a grill lighter or some matches. You can light the stovetop with. As far as the oven, there is a pilot light back inside the bottom of the oven back here. We always make sure that's on, but sometimes that can get blown out. But if you're trying to use the oven and it doesn't seem to be working, just make sure your pilot light is working. Moving forward here. On this unit here, we just have one heater for this houseboat. So this is one of our catalytic heaters. So I like to go over the gas with this. So basically what we do here is we'll hold the button in, and then this is your striker button. We wait for this after we hold this in, and it depends if it's been used a lot or not. If you've been using it, it'll start really quick. We haven't used this heater in quite a while because we are in our summer months here, but basically you're waiting for the heater. It's going to kind of flare up on itself, and after it does, you release the pilot button. And the one thing that kind of fools our guests there, there is not a standing pilot on this heater. So as I release it, the pilot light will go out. You turn it. There's a low setting, a medium setting, and a high setting. Just beware that, again, it doesn't have a standing pilot, so the pilot light does not stay on. So you'll kind of be able to feel it whether it's lit or not. Right now it's on. I can feel it. Makes a little faint hissing sound if you put your ear up to it. But basically that's how you operate your heater on this boat. We'll go over the helm here a little bit as far as some of the switches at the helm. Every boat's a little bit different. On this boat here, we have the top three are basically running lights, anchor lights, and horns. We have these disconnected. We don't want our houseboats out after dark. We don't supply them with any running lights or anchor lights. We don't have horns on our houseboats because we don't want our guests making too much noise on the lake. So basically, your top switch here, this actually says spare one. This actually controls your refrigerator. So we need to keep that on during your stay. The second one here is cabin lights. That needs to stay on. That gives you power to your cabin lights. The stereo powers the stereo, and then the bottom one is your water pressure switch. Runs your water pump. Keep that on except for when you're cruising on the lake. When you're on the lake, we like you to turn that off so we don't deprime our water lines and burn up our water pump. So that is important. On the lake cruising, water pressure switch off. If you are on the lake and need to use the bathroom or something, just come down to idle speed. Turn the water pressure switch on to wash your hands, use the restroom, but then keep that off when you're cruising. When you get to your mooring site, you can leave it on. Very simple operation with this houseboat here. So it's just turnkey start. Basically turn the key, starts the motor. The tack up here is the only tack we're really looking at is our RPM tack. We want you, our max RPMs on this houseboat is 3,000 RPMs. So that'll be a good cruising speed of about 5 miles an hour. The shifter right here is very simple. After you start the motor, it is just put it in gear, advanced throttle. Main thing with the shifter is just don't get too rammy with it. You just want to make nice, easy movements, nice, slow movements, stuff like that. So we have a separate video for our Hummingbird GPS as far as navigating the lake and finding mooring sites. That'll be listed on our YouTube channel or YouTube page. And then walk to the front of the boat here. Almost done. So we have a charcoal grill on the front, and then right here so we always have a cooler with the houseboat, and then the fiberglass box here in the front. This is what has your life jackets and stuff for the houseboat right up here. So we also have a separate video for our mooring our houseboats, which we'll have on our YouTube page. Basically, there's a plank on the front of the houseboat. The houseboat has 2 mooring lines, and we'll have a video on that. But that's our orientation for houseboat number 11, our 44-foot Royalist. Thank you.